What's good, YouTube family? This is DJ BlessOne, and today we're diving into a conversation that a lot of people are scared to have. Let's talk about Cam Ward is not better than Shedeur Sanders and why the NFL media refuses to keep it real about these two quarterbacks. Now, I'm going to go into the game, but let's show a little bit more. Now, let's break it down. Let's keep it 100. Cam Ward was the #1 pick in the NFL draft. And when you're drafted that high, expectations come with it. The #1 pick is supposed to be a franchise changer, a guy who, no matter what, he uplifts everybody else on the field. No matter how bad the offensive line is, no matter if the receivers are dropping passes or not, you're supposed to make the team better just by being out there. But what did we see in Cam Ward's debut against the Denver Broncos? Honestly, nothing impressive. People want to make excuses. Oh, this is the offensive line wasn't protecting him. Oh, the receivers weren't running sharp routes. But let's be real. If you're the #1 pick, that shouldn't matter. You're drafted to overcome those problems, not hide behind them. Because we can look at Will Levis and blame him, but he didn't get the level of passes that Cam is getting. What about Malik? He didn't get the same thing. Look at CJ Stroud with the Houston Texans. He came into a rebuilding team with a shaky offensive line, wide receivers that nobody thought were elite, and a system that wasn't proven. But what did Stroud do? He elevated his teammates. He made those receivers look better. He gave the offensive line confidence. That's what true leaders and true franchise quarterbacks do. Now, compare that to Shedeur Sanders. At every level of football, whether it was at Jackson State, high school, or Colorado, Shedeur had to deal with weak offensive lines and inconsistent wide receivers, but he didn't fold. He found ways to win. He stayed composed. He made the right reads, and he showed leadership that can't be taught. Shedeur doesn't cry about protection. He doesn't cry about drops. He adapts, get acclimated, and he overcomes and he delivers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to start this show with receipts and everything. I just wanted to start it on a high note like that. But let's give the theme song right quick because I want to begin immediately.
I've been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Niggas bless up on my...
So, mind I tell you, this was a great game, at least for the Denver Broncos and maybe your average football fans. All across the boards, the NFL has been, it doesn't compare to the college game if we're being honest, but I'm going to show you the reaction of Cam Ward and a lot of the things that people were noticing and looking at. So when Cam Ward was out here doing his thing, he had his comments. He said it felt good, honestly. He told reporters, I felt alive again. Just being live, knowing that it's not a preseason game and it's a real football game. The rush that you get is unbelievable. It's something that you wouldn't want to trade the world for. I'm blessed to be in this position. You know, the same old. He loves bringing up about being blessed. But look, this is not church. This is football. We're here to critique and actually watch football. So I'm going to let Cam speak to you guys.
I felt good, honestly. I felt alive again, just finally being alive, knowing that it's not a preseason game, it's a real football game. But I mean, the rush that you get, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's something that, you know, you wouldn't want to trade for the world. So, you know, I'm blessed to be in this position. I'm blessed to have guys around me who believe in me. We just really trying to get better. So, you know, we just got to continue to take it 1 week at a time. But I mean, it felt good to get out there. I felt good, honestly.
I mean, he tells you guys he felt good, and even the fans were giving nothing but excuses for him. You guys could read them here. And I looked at a lot of the ones who love football like me. They told the truth. we don't hate Cam Ward. We like Cam Ward. But the truth is we can't keep blaming the offensive line, because if it's always the receivers and offensive line's fault, then there are no bad quarterbacks in the NFL. Then every single NFL quarterback are exceptional. If it's always going to be the same excuses, the offensive line this, the wide receivers that, when does it come to play to actually blame a quarterback? Let's be fair, because when we're looking at Shedeur Sanders, you guys don't negate the fact that he doesn't have an offensive line. He had so-and-so receivers. You don't bring this up. You say it's all his fault. So at this point, I think it's fair to say we pick and choose who we want to have an outlash and fake outrage against. Because when you're looking at Sean Payton, he knew Cam Ward cannot have the same skill set that a Shedeur has. You know, when the offensive line breaks, you need your quarterback to utilize his knowledge of the game. You know, that's what substitutes the actual playing field when your teammates collapse. You galvanize them. And Sean Payton knew, look, this is what Sean said. He said, on pressuring Cam Ward in his first NFL game, our pass rush did a great job. We felt that was one of the keys to victory. That was one of the keys to victory, guys. They knew Cam Ward doesn't have the whiff-for-all tools, what it takes to be a quarterback. Yes, he's a rookie, but when you're the number one pick in the draft, you don't negate things to say and make excuses. Oh, I was a rookie. It's my first game. Let's just be honest with it. And here's the part that really gets under my skin. When Cam Ward struggles, the media runs to protect him. They start listing excuses. They soften the criticism. They say, well, give him time. He's adjusting. But if Shedeur Sanders had the exact same performance, you already know what would happen. The media would tear him apart, as they already have been doing. They'd call him a bust. They'd say he wasn't ready. They'd question if he even belongs in the league, just like you fans do. It's a double standard that football fans can't ignore. If Cam Ward's last name was Cam Sanders, the headlines would have been brutal after the Broncos games. There would be no sympathy, no patience, no benefits of the doubt. And yet, because Cam Ward, everyone acts like it's no big deal. So they're just giving him these passes. And I'm going to let him speak one more time on the positive notes of what he's seen.
That we can be explosive. We just got to connect on the play, from myself to the receiver group. But we can be explosive. And also, we're able to run the football. I think that's a plus side of our game, that, you know, we can run the football if we really want to. And then Coach Callahan's going to always put the ball in my hands. He's going to do his best for the offense. And so, you know, I'm excited to, you know, continue to grow those guys. How is that we can be
He's turning into Tom Brady, to be honest with you guys. Those redundant Welsh chucks, the typical formality of answers so he doesn't get in trouble. He doesn't lose sponsorships. So he's basically going to toe the line and not bend it. And that's what's going to separate him from guys like C.J. Stroud and Shedeur Sanders, because he's a system quarterback. And this has been proven. When the system collapsed, Cam Ward collapsed. Shedeur, CJ, and many other quarterbacks, they're not system quarterbacks. You take those guys on your team to allocate that level of stardom, whatever it is, that je ne sais quoi that they have. Real quarterbacks seem to be able to lead their teams no matter what's going on. And you don't waste a number one pick on a guy like Cam Ward who breaks when your teammates breaks. No, I'm taking you here because we already have bad offensive lines problems. We have bad receivers problems. This has been the theme of the Tennessee Titans since the days of the late, great Steve McNair, and they have never got better. So you can't keep blaming the line. At some point, the quarterback has to be responsible. It can't be everybody else's fault, but nothing gets thrown at the quarterback. Listen, at the end of the day, let's just be honest. Quarterback play is about more than raw talent. It's about elevating everyone around you. And that's the difference between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders should have been Tennessee Titans' number one pick. Just being honest with you guys. You needed a leader of men who's been there before, on those trenches when it collapsed, who can actually exhibit a level of leadership, not just on paper. And we're just going to be honest, man. One gets excuses, the other gets criticism. One is protected, the other is attacked. So when we seen the preseason performances, it was a lot of coddling going on with Cam Ward, because I looked at all the other quarterbacks, they got ridiculed, but Cam Ward was the #1 pick. He shouldn't be scathed away from criticism. That's what leaders are. You're there to deal with the criticisms, not be coddled and hidden away from them, not saying the typical normality of things during press conferences. No, you say what's needed to be said, not what your sponsors want to hear. That's the difference between Shedeur and Cam Ward. Why do you think one guy drafted in the 5th round, jersey sells immaculate, jersey sells reaching record-breaking numbers, and we seen the reports by Ian Rappaport, who said the prime equity of Shedeur Sanders doesn't exist. So we're going to do a separate video on that, but we see you, Ian Rappaport. But that's the thing. The other guy jerseys are not selling as much because people know this was a desperate pick because of the collusion against Shedeur Sanders. So when people try to tell me that Cam Ward is better than Shedeur Sanders, I laugh a little. I love Cam Ward. I like Cam Ward. I've been supporting Cam Ward, but I do laugh a little. When did Cam Ward prior to the draft become better than Shedeur Sanders? Because the evidence say otherwise. We see when Cam Ward quit during the halftime of Miami game. He didn't want to come back in there. Can you imagine if Shedeur Sanders did the same thing during a bowl game? No, let's just be honest, guys. I know you guys might not like me, but can we be honest about it? If Shedeur Sanders, when he was getting beaten by BYU, he decided not to go back in the game. Hell, even if they were beating BYU during the halftime, you guys would have said he's not a leader. There's no way he would have been the #1 pick had he quit during the bowl game. But that's another conversation. Let's just keep continuing on. Shedeur has proven over and over he can carry a team on his back, even when the situation is stacked against him. Shedeur's been proving this. Cam Ward, he's got to show us he can do that before we even mention him in the same conversation with Shedeur Sanders. And listen to me, guys, and let's close it with this. If you understand football, then you'll know if you're the #1 pick in the draft, you don't get passes. You just don't. I've never seen this new football before. All my time growing up, the #1 pick, hell, any first rounders, they never get coddled. They never get passes, nor do they get excuses. You don't get to hide behind your offensive line or your receivers. Shout out to Calvin Ridley. You're supposed to be the savior. And until Cam Ward proves he can be that guy, I don't want to hear comparisons to Shedeur Sanders. We've seen a lot on Football Sunday. And one thing we learned, there are football players who get passes, and there are others like Shedeur Sanders who just get overwhelmingly unneeded criticism. Now, that's the truth that the mainstream media won't say, but I just did. Y'all hit the like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe if you know I keep it real with no filters. I'm out, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been broke so many times.